Hi guys, this is Mr. Brooks coming to you again with another Google tip that you can implement in your classroom that's super easy and that will make teaching more enjoyable and have kids exploring and maximizing their learning as much as possible. So today we're talking about Google Books. Google Books has been around for a little while. But I don't think we've fully employed or fully explored how we could really transform our classrooms to break the walls of the school with just the books that we have at school, but we could also have an opportunity to teach kids that there are books beyond the school room and the school walls. So I'm going to go ahead and take us to Google Books today. So go ahead and click on the Google Books icon, and what's again great is you have the Google Books logo. That's when you know when you've gone to Google Books. We have a section here called My Library, but we'll get to that just a little bit later in this video. So I'm going to go ahead and search a classic that all teachers know, which is Charlotte's Web. So Charlotte's Web pops up, and you can see that there are a multitude and a variety of Charlotte's Web books that we can choose from. So you have like the full length play, you have the Cynthia Swan version in 2011. You have a novel study, but I'm just going to focus today on Charlotte's Web, the actual book from E.B. White. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this here. In some of the books that you select, you can actually have a preview section, so you can actually have kids preview the book. In the previous page, when we click on Charlotte's Web here, this one does have a preview and this one has a preview. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one so that way we can see the preview option. So when you pull up Charlotte's Web here, you can actually preview the book here. And then you actually have your selections of the different panes here if you want to view the thumbnail here and here. On the preview page, it's not available, but once you get the book, you can actually thumb through it like an actual book on Google Books. So going through, you can actually see that this is the color edition of Charlotte's Web. Here's your title page. Here's E.B. White, the author page. Here's your copyright page. What's great about this is it gives you the first 3 chapters to preview. So I know something with my students is that when we go to the library to check out books, I would always tell them to make sure you at least read the first chapter just to kind of get a feel or a flavor. And if you felt like it might be something of interest, go ahead and read that second chapter. I never push students to finish a book that they didn't like, partially because that's not going to help with students enjoy reading. And secondly, forcing kids, as we know, to do things doesn't always end well. So this just gives them opportunity to kind of scope out a book before they go through and read the whole thing. So you can actually read the first 3 chapters here of Charlotte's Web, which is great. Especially because you can scroll through it quickly. They can really see if they like it or not. But again, you get a good sense of this is Charlotte's Web, and this is something that they may be interested in. So this is the first. This is the preview section of Google Books. Here, the breakdown of the main page, you have about the work, so you can actually click on more facts and kind of read this section here about Charlotte's Web, about the actual edition. So this is the edition with where this book was published, and the illustrators involved here with the author. If we scroll down a little further, we actually have more editions about this from the publisher, and we also have a Wikipedia section, just a brief overview of what Charlotte's Web was. Off to the right-hand side, you have the author section with E.B. White. So it actually gives you a little bio of E.B. White, and then you can actually search E.B. White on Google, which is pretty cool because then kids can link E.B. White with Charlotte's Web, but other books he has read or has written as well. So the focus of today's video is going to be more around how can students access books through Google Books. So this is great because you can actually borrow books off this, and actually Google does a great job of giving you a bunch of different resources to. So sorry guys, that was my little dog in the background who loves to make noise. So they, again, coming back here to the borrow section, you can actually see where you can get the books from and where you can actually check them out. So again, great thing is here in Northern California, we can actually go to this website. So I'll go ahead and hit the borrow section. I'll put it in a new tab for us so we can look at it. But you can also look at all these different options when it comes to public libraries who have an ebook service. So here you can see that for here in Northern California, we have a digital library section. So you can sign in if you have an account through Northern California Digital Library. Some of us be like, well, Mr. Brooks, we don't have a library card for any of these things. Okay, that's a great question. So coming down here, I can go to need a library card. And from there, it will take me to a page where I can actually create or find out how to get a library card. So this is, again, a great resource for our students and for our families. Maybe buying books is not in their wheelhouse, although they would like to buy books. This is where the reality is buying or is not always an option for them. So giving them another resource of checking out books is a great option. So again, going through, and you can find what county or what library you would like to get a library card from, and then you can follow the instructions on how to obtain a library card from there. So going back to Google Books, so again, you can buy the book, you can borrow the book, you can actually read reviews on the book. So this is, again, a great resource for kids. But for example, you have older kids, and especially when you get to high school, you have to read a lot of books. So one of my favorite books of all time is All Quiet on the Western Front. And one of the things that I liked about this book was just because I was a World War I fanatic, and I still am. I love World War II as far as learning about the history and the time period that it took place in. So for me, if I wanted to actually get this book, say, for example, this is a book of interest for me. And this is something our students would need to know how to do as well. So, at least for the time being, this is a book I might want to do for a book report, or this is a book that I might need to use for writing a paper. So, in a literary class. So I might go ahead, and there's a section right here called Add to My Library. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add to My Library. And what's cool is Google Books actually allows you to have your own library, and you can actually put it in whatever section you want. So for me, this might be a book that it is a favorite of mine because I really did enjoy reading this book. But is it something I would want to read right now? It could be a book that I need to read. So I'll go ahead and put it there as well. So I'm going to hit done. And now off to the side here, you can see that in the section here, reading now, I have Charlotte's Web, which was an example I used already. But if I go to favorites, now I have All Quiet on the Western Front. So that is one of the books that I put as a favorite. But All Quiet on the Western Front technically is a historical nonfiction book. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new shelf. And one of the great things about Google Books is this gives us an opportunity as teachers to teach children how to organize a library, but more importantly, how to look for books in the future if they do go to a library. For our students who are in high school or for our students who are going off to college, it's really important for us to teach them how to look into libraries and to see where to find books on what shelf. So this would be historical nonfiction. And I could also add a description here for historic books of history that have a true story or true elements to it. So I'm going to go ahead and create a bookshelf. And what do you know? I already have my historical nonfiction book here. So I'm going to go ahead and click where it says add to, and then I can come down and I can find, or it might be already. Maybe it has to be refreshed. Let's try that. Sometimes things like this happen. So if I want to add it up, there it is. It just needed a refresh. So I can actually put this under historical nonfiction, and now it's under historical nonfiction. So I can actually build out library shelves in my Google Books library, and I can actually add and create my own digital library. Again, I hope this was helpful today, guys. Again, if you thought this was great, please like this video, and please leave comments below on if you found this interesting or how you can make this better. Again, if you found this helpful and you feel other educators could benefit from this video, please share my video to other educators. And the goal is that we're all in partnership to make teaching a better experience and make education just a better experience, especially with the technical piece online now. So thank you very much for watching, and I appreciate you watching my video.